Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on a Thursday morning because we're now 6-0 in our last 6 underdog tier package picks on my premium site. And the good news is I have another underdog tier package pick going off here today. And if you sign up for that package, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on the free videos and what I do on my premium site. Well, what I do here with the free videos is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. What I do on my premium page is, well, I actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I actually like the best. And of course, if you want to receive all of my premium selections, every single one of them that I put out on my premium site, you may want to think about signing up for my full access, all-inclusive chairman package. Chairman members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my chairman podcast absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase. Once again, folks, I'm hitting at 6-0 in my last 6 underdog tier package picks. And the site is patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, folks, we are going to jump into some free content. We're going to start off with the Bulls at the Raptors, 7:30 Eastern start time. Chicago's -3, totals 225. And even though they're favored by a bucket on the road here, the Bulls have had a tough time covering the point spread. They failed to cover in their last 3 straight. They've also got a losing record against the point spread on the road. And a lot of that is due to some poor offensive production. The Bulls are currently in the bottom 5 in three-pointers made per contest. And I'll tell you, when the Bulls come out of the blocks, well, they come out slow. Chicago's averaging fewer first-quarter points than any other roster besides one. They're facing a Toronto club who covered in 6 out of their last 9. And they do a nice job of rebounding at home. Toronto's in the top 10 in the league in offensive boards per game in their own building. Scotty Barnes snags 8.5 rebounds a night, 20 points a game for Barnes. Meanwhile, R.J. Barrett's knocking down over 44% of his three-pointers with his new squad. Now, injury-wise, Williams and Dosunmu are questionable for the Bulls. When it comes to the total, Chicago saw unders in 6 out of their last 10. They also averaged just 108 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Toronto. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. As far as the Raptors go, well, no real surprise here. The under cashed in 60% of those head-to-head meetings I just mentioned. The Raptors also saw unders more recently against the likes of Miami, Boston, and Memphis. Give me the Raptors +3, under 225. Next contest, Wizards, Knicks, 7:30 p.m. East. New York's -11 at home, totals 237. And even though this is a big number, well, the Knicks are definitely playing their best basketball at home. They're currently 12-5 at MSG this season, and they're covering in 65% of those home games. And a lot of that is thanks to some solid defensive play. New York's allowing fewer points a game at home than any other roster except for one. Jalen Brunson's got a handful of steals on the season, 25 points a night for the team's leading scorer. And Julius Randle's second on the roster in points, first in rebounds. And speaking of boards, the Knicks are the second best defensive rebounding team in the league. And unfortunately for Washington fans, well, the Wizards are the worst offensive rebounding team in the game right now. Dead last in offensive boards, probably going to get out-rebounded here tonight. Meanwhile, on the defensive end of the court, same song and dance there. They're also dead last in defensive boards per contest as well. Aside from allowing more field goals a game than any other roster in basketball, the Wizards also allow more second-half points a game than any other team as well. Now, total-wise, 6 out of Washington's last 10 ball games did fall under the total. Talking about unders against the likes of the Hawks, Pacers, and this very New York team. Meanwhile, the Knicks are 11-6 to the under at Madison Square Garden. Give me the Knicks minus 11, under 237. Next game should be a good one. Thunder Jazz, 9 o'clock East. OKC's minus 3 on the road, totals 246. Now, OKC has hit a bit of a rough patch here. Losers of their last 2 straight, just 3-5 against the spread in their last 8. And when it comes to rebounding the basketball, well, OKC does not do it well. They're in the bottom 3 in offensive boards per contest. Meanwhile, on the defensive side of things, they're also in the bottom 5 in the West in rebounds per game as well. And as tough as OKC's been on D, they do have a tough time guarding the 3 ball. They're allowing 14 made 3-pointers a game. They're actually in the they're toward the bottom of the West in that particular category. And they're facing a red-hot Utah team who won their last 6 straight themselves, and they do play their best basketball in Salt Lake City. The Jazz are 15-5 in front of their own crowd, 80% against the point spread in those home games, and a lot of that is thanks to Lauri Markkanen, who leads the roster in points and rebounds. Now, John Collins and Walker Kessler, they're both snagging over 7.5 boards a night, respectively. And it should be noted the Jazz are a top 3 offensive rebounding team in the NBA. Probably going to have their way with OKC underneath the basket here tonight. Now, total-wise, OKC saw overs in 6 out of their last 9. Meanwhile, the Jazz saw overs recently against the likes of the Lakers, Raptors, and Bucks. Give me Utah plus 3, over 246. Next game, Pacers, Kings, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Sacramento's minus 7.5, totals 246 and a hook. Now, the Kings are doing a nice job of scoring points at home. They're 13-7 in their own building, and they're a top 5 point-producing team at home in the West. De'Aaron Fox scores a team-high 28 points a game, 40% shooting from 3-land. Meanwhile, Domantas Sabonis is making over 42% of his 3 balls, first in the league in boards per game. Now, they're facing a Pacer team who lost their last 2 straight. They continue to play defense poorly. The Pacers are dead last in defensive field goal percentage. They also tend to allow a ton of points early in games. They're giving up more second quarter points than any other club in the league. Now, injury-wise, Toppin, Halliburton, Nesmith, and Mathurin, they're all questionable for Indy. When it comes to the total, the Pacers saw overs with the likes of Boston, Milwaukee, and New York. Meanwhile, Sacramento's gone 6-1 to the over in their last 7 in-conference home games. Give me Sacramento minus 7.5, over 246 and a hook. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Grizzlies T-Wolves game, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Minnesota's minus 13, totals 215 and a half. And even though this is a pretty huge number, the T-Wolves should be able to expose the poor offensive effort of Memphis. The Grizzlies are second to last in point production. Meanwhile, Minnesota leads the league in defensive points per game. The T-Wolves allow a league-low 107 points per contest. And when it comes to defensive field goal percentage, well, no one in the league is lower than Minnesota right now. Anthony Edwards, he's got a handful of steals on the season, 5 defensive boards a night. But I'll tell you where Edwards is most useful is on the offensive end of the court. He leads the franchise with 26 points per contest. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns is second on the roster in scoring, and he drains 42% of his long balls. Now, they're facing a Memphis club who does struggle guarding the 3-pointer themselves. These guys are in the bottom 5 in the West in defending the 3-ball. They're also a bottom 5 defensive rebounding team in the entire league. But like I said, their biggest issue has been offensive production. The Grizzlies have the second lowest field goal percentage on offense in the entire NBA. Now, Rose, Smart, Clark, Bane, and LaRavia are all still out for Memphis. When it comes to the total, the Grizzlies saw unders in 7 out of their last 10. Meanwhile, Minnesota's 67% to the under in their home games. Give me the T-Wolves minus 13, under 215 and a half. And with that, folks, now it is time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Raptors +3, under 225. Knicks -11, under 237. Utah Jazz +3, over 246. I'm 6-0 my last 6 college basketball tier package picks on my premium site. Give me the Kings -7.5, over 246 and a hook. With my next and final free pick for the video, give me the T-Wolves -13, under 215.5.